Good day, ladies and gentlemen, our dear listeners. My name is Ibrahim Murtala Muhammad, and I'm excited to host you on this episode of the podcast titled The Next Question. Podcast brought to you by the Sustainable Development Conversation Initiative, where we dive at the deep questions and issues that plague the state and how we're going to solve them. Today, here on this very studio, we're here with somebody that is extremely important to the state, in person of Dr. Elias, who is the Commissioner for the Ministry of Agriculture here at Bauchi. Yeah, highly welcome, sir.
Thank you.
As we all know, agriculture is, I want to call it as the backbone of any civilization. Without food, nothing is going to move forward.
Yeah.
And with the new development plan of the state, agriculture is stated as one of the key pillars of that. While you're heading the Ministry of Agriculture, I would like to start by asking you a question. A lot of people know just about your title. So, what does your ministry actually do, and what is your day-to-day operation, and what is, let me say, your current mandate? So, please, can you state your name?
Thank you. I'm Dr. Elias Aliyu Gital, Sarkin Gital Malawajendas, the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Agriculture, Bauchi State. As you rightly said, the ministry is very key to any developmental effort and security effort of Bauchi State. So the ministry is solely responsible for ensuring that there is food security in the state, which will translate to food security in the nation. Then secondly, there is job opportunities in agriculture. So to ensure that the provision of food and creation of jobs is synchronized and then adjusted in such a way that the players will have a role to play and then play it well. Otherwise, without the ministry, there will be no coordination, no policy development, and the implementation will have no supervision. But the ministry is solely responsible in terms of making policy and decision, in terms of making sure that farmers are educated on how to produce food items. And that's the more reason why, apart from the mother ministry, we have some parastatals that are helping the ministry to achieve its objective. Number one is the Bauchi State Agricultural Development Program, BSADP, which is the extension arm of the ministry. Extension in the sense that whatever policy, whatever technology, and whatever new innovation is going to be passed to the farmers, it will pass through the ADP, because it is well structured in such a way that it will perform its activities effectively. Then another aspect is the provision of inputs to the farmers. Whether subsidized, free, or at cost, there must be a supervisory institution that will see to the ensuring that all the agri input that is supplied or that comes through Bauchi or to Bauchi farmers is made in such a way that that institution will cover in terms of quality control and effective distribution. That is the Bauchi State Agricultural Supply Company. So these are the two major parastatals that are under the State Ministry of Agriculture, while we do the policy and governmental issues in agriculture in the ministry.
Thank you very much. I believe this is a very broad because it kind of captures what the ministry does in our sense. So, in brief, what is the biggest opportunity do you see in the agricultural sector in the states?
Well, in the first place, I'm happy to tell you that Bauchi State is blessed with abundant land and resources, and the climate of Bauchi, we are happy. We have both rainy and dry season with so many crops that are performing well, and we have the climatic condition and the soil that we are in the Savannah, Guinea and Sudan, then we also are in the Sahel area. So Bauchi, any other thing that we want to do based on soil mapping, you can do it in Bauchi in terms of agriculture. If it is crop production, livestock production, we have zones that will cater for that based on the environmental factors. So another advantage is the level of our farmers. There are so many programs that are brought into the nation and subnationals. You see that Bauchi State farmers are always ahead in trying to see that whatever is going to be implemented, they are at the forefront in terms of accepting. They are very receptive to new innovation. So apart from the land resources we have farmers and the population that will sustain the production that we are envisaging.
So thank you very much. You spoke a lot about the opportunities and let me say the right circumstances for the agricultural sector. The next question I want to ask you is, what are the service extension services, program delivery and coordination between the government and the other partners? Where is the biggest gap that you see happening in the state?
Okay. We have a very robust extension system that I was telling you. Bauchi State Agricultural Development Program is the extension arm of the ministry. And they have some projects and programs that will ensure the extension of delivery of extension services to the village level. And I was telling you, we have, first of all, we started with the T&V, training and visit. You train farmers, you visit and see whether they have imbibed the training. Then later, we went for training and demonstration. You go to a farmer, train him, establish a demonstration plot on his farm. Even if it is livestock, you demonstrate to him, and then you visit him regularly to see how this demonstration is doing. And then we had a lot of extension personnel, but because the policy of government of not recruiting extension agents, and so, while some are dying, some are leaving the services, so there was a ratio of 1 extension agent to a maximum of 100 farming families. So that was the World Bank standard, we had it. But later, as it is now, until very recently, the extension agent farm family ratio rose to about 1 to 2,000, over 2,000, which is too huge. That means we are not covering our grounds. But then we introduced certain activities like the MTP management training plot, whereby you conduct field days. What you are to do with 10 farmers in the village, if you have only 1 farmer or a farmer, extension agent in the village, he can deal with 10 villages, while during demonstration, they will come and then listen to the extension messages. But that one is not adequate yet. But still it was serving our purpose. Until recently, as I told you, we have started recruiting, but it will not reach the 1 to 800 farming families. But with the coming of modern ways of extension, that is the media, the social media system, definitely we are widening the gap, and the mass training of the extension agents. Recently we sent some young people to a farm, which is a training center. When they come back and are posted back to their villages, even if you are not in the government payroll, at least you have learned something while you are practicing it, some people are copying from you. That also has served as a way to extend our program. But then the most important part of the extension is the monthly technology review meeting that we do every day in the ADP. In the every month, scientists, extension personnel, and then farmer leaders will come, gather together after a MTRM field visit. They will visit a farm or visit a problem, then come and discuss that problem in the midst of farmers, extension agents. So that week, throughout, the extension agent will carry the message that was synthesized during the fortnightly training and take it to the farmer at his own village level. So that's our mechanism of making sure that our extension messages are going to the farmers. And then the use of media, as I said, radio and television. Yeah.
I think that's a bit extensive.
Yeah.
I want you to walk through the listeners on how a technical government support program works. So from the input distribution scheme to when it actually reaches the farmer in the world.
Okay.
So especially from design to delivery.
Okay. Let us take example of fertilizer, and maybe sometimes like the dry season that government give free inputs to farmers. First of all, when the government launch the season, input will be distributed based on the number of farmers selected, and each farmer, the delivery will be done through the local government as to the ward level. And in each ward, the local government extension agent will be there, he will collect, and then each farmer will be registered. Any farmer that got this, if extension agent will take the input to him, they will apply it together, monitor how his performance has been. Next year, that farmer will not be repeated because he had benefited from the input delivery. Another farmer will be selected. So also, the ordinary farmer that will come to the open market and buy, it will be delivered to his farm, and it will be under a supervision of a trained personnel, so that all this input that he's using is being used correctly and is not using the wrong input. So that's how we do take inputs from the source to the farmer and how it is being utilized. We monitor even the way you are utilizing. If it is spraying, how do you spray? If you are messing up, we teach you how to do the sprayer so that you will not leave any area. If it is a wrong mechanism, we tell you, no, this is not how to do it, because if you do it this way, you are not going to get the desired result. So that's how we deliver input from the, if it is government store, up to the farmer. If it is the private sector, it is the involvement of the extension agent that will ensure that, yes, the input that is delivered is utilized properly. Yeah.
That's very impressive. So, mechanization, it is part of the things that is being pushed in the agricultural sector. And they have historically been a bit focused on large equipment, tractors, and all of that, which they usually doesn't benefit small scale farmers because of the scale at which that is going to be done. So how is the ministry rethinking that mechanization to better fit the small farmers where it can be deployed?
At the point in time, we devised a mechanism. First, why we separated the ministry from ADP was that the issue of tractorization, because of the money involved, was overtaking the whole issue of agriculture. Extension was being relegated to the background because this is where the money is. Everybody will come for tractorization, mechanization. They will not even care about who is there delivering the message, supervising the execution of the technology. So later we separated it. After separating the issue of tractorization, we realized that every year you take a heavy tractor, and even if you are a large-scale farmer, there is no how you will always use heavy equipment and machinery on your soil and disturb the soil for more than 2-5 years. It's going to disrupt the performance of the soil. So later, the government thought it wise to bring in what we call cultivators. These are small motorized equipment that in maximum it can only cultivate a hectare in a day, while the tractor is between 5 to 10 hectares per day. Because our farmers are using quarter of a hectare, half a hectare, 1 hectare, maximum 3 hectares. So if you cannot hire a tractor, if you have your motorized cultivator, that one is okay. Another way is we ask the local government to promote the use of ox-drawn plow. Though it seems like it is a system that is very laborious, but still, because of the farm holding, a farmer that has only a quarter of a hectare, if you have your work bull and your ox-drawn implement, you can use your ox-drawn implement for your quarter of hectare, then use them to cultivate your neighbor's field that doesn't have it. So that one have really helped the small scale farmers. And then we have planters that are not necessarily mounted on tractors. We have planters, hand pulled planters that really reduce the drudgery on the farm. A farmer that may use a tractor to plant is a farmer that is talking about 20 hectares and above, while we are talking about the small-scale farmers that are not up to 3 hectares. So the use of the hand-driven planters also have helped greatly. So we are devising means, especially with the use of our local fabricators, to ensure that we reduce the man labor that is required, so that some very local machineries and equipment will help us overcome the issue of hard labor.
I think that's really good. So let us get back a little bit to the program side. So how does rural farmers find out the programs that the ministry is carrying out and whether they even qualify or not? So what is kind of the processes that makes that easier and clearer for the rural farmers?
Two processes are involved. One, the monthly technology review meeting, which is delivered to the farmer village through the fortnightly training. Secondly, we use a lot of media, especially radio programs. We tell farmers this is what is going to happen, so farmers will register and they will give you the link for registration, or to designate a point where you will meet an extension agent if you are not illiterate enough for you to be registered. So through that we reach a lot of farmers, and then we use the involvement of many NGOs. I can talk like the SDCI that came, the Oxfam, and so many women organizations that are helping us reach the women farmers. So that one is even more important than what the government are doing, because with them you can reach so many farmers. But if you rely only on the government, it may not reach the target we are talking about. As I am today, I'm very proud to tell you that most of the things that we are doing with women was done through Oxfam, and that's why we created a department in the ADP called Women in Agriculture. So Oxfam has helped us greatly. So other NGOs like the WOFAN, then Muslim Women Association, all this, we use them to make sure that they reach to their members that these are new technologies, these are new products, these are new information that you pass to your members, whether in the church, in the mosque, or in your daily meeting or quarterly meeting. Tell them that this is what you are, and then maybe in recruit few of you that will maybe help them fill forms and then request for so many things from the government, which either we don't have them, we don't have that facility. But when we realize that those organizations are helping us and they are making good impact on the farmers, we utilize them and then make sure that they are put into the mainstream extension delivery system.
Yeah, so we spoke a lot about programs and other development partners and other actors as well in the state. One thing that a lot of other sectors are kind of experiencing is the duplication of programs.
Yes.
So how is the ministry coordinating that between our partners?
Collaboration without coordination creates a lot of problems. And I'm a product of coordination. Though SDCI came with technology, but they had to work with the local state, the local government and the federal government. So what they did, because they believe in coordination, in order to collaborate, every state, they appointed a coordinator. And every local government will have a coordinator for the local government. So when you take information from the national office as a coordinator, you come and coordinate everything. Being a staff of the ministry in the ADP, you know the kind of projects that are coming to the ADP. So you coordinate it in such a way that no duplication. If money is meant to promote sesame, if somebody is coming to promote sesame, then you divide it. Okay, this is the area that we are running short of training or sponsorship in sesame. So use NGO that is coming, take this aspect. The other one, then you will coordinate between the NGOs that are coming to ensure that no duplication. Sometimes there is overlap, definitely, but then we sit down with each and every organization and say, okay, since you are funding this, the money is more than what we require for this project. Can we reinvest the fund in another area based on your agreement? Then we move the money there and then ensure that it is utilized properly. This money is meant for agricultural promotion. Since we have gotten money to promote this, why can't we utilize your own to promote the other aspect? So that's how we do. But definitely, if there is no proper coordination, duplication do occur. I know there was a time I and Osman were working on a women group, and when you come, they will be mixing the topics because they don't know who is managing which aspect of the activity you are managing. But then we had to sit down and say, okay, this is because we are duplicating this in this village. So let us work and say, okay, either some of us could move out of the village and go to the other village, or think of how we are going to divide the village into two, so that when you come, take this aspect, the other will take another aspect, because duplication is a serious wastage.
Yeah, exactly. And you spoke a lot about programs, and I'm very happy to hear that programs such as the ones that you spoke about exist. But I want to ask about financing. So the credit lines for farmers. And if, for example, I want to go into farming right now, realistically, what are the financial options that I have at my disposal?
We are trying to find solutions to problems. This area is very problematic in Bauchi State, the issue of loans and financing. And we always discourage giving farmers everything free, especially if you graduate them from peasant farmers to middle-scale farmers. You don't have any legal responsibility or as a government to finance them directly. So they have to be linked with financiers. You know the issue of financing in Nigeria, the middlemen are polluting the environment, especially in finance and agriculture. So sometimes we started with what we call on lending. The government will borrow money from the bank, then register some farmers, then lend the money to the farmers, and then do the recovery through government agency, pay it back. Sometimes the government will even pay the money to the lending bank and then start recouping the money from the farmers slowly. But direct lending, we have so many problems with it. That's why you see that a lot of farmers in Bauchi State are left behind as far as lending from the bank directly for agricultural purposes and concern. Except for those that are adding value. Those and you know, those are people that are involved in value addition. They are not really into reduction. They don't. The risk is very minimal. But those that are into direct production, because they are not covering the insurance properly, they run the risk of losing and then paying back the loan very difficult. They find it difficult to pay back the loan. That's why we employ the issue of on lending. Government will either local government or state will loan more money from the bank and give it to farmers, and then the farmer will be paying through the government. Otherwise, the only way we are enjoying the banks is through value addition. Those that are into value addition of crops processing.
So you also spoke about insurance. So does that exist in the States?
It does, but we are not utilizing it properly because, as I say, in between, cheatings have been encountered. For example, let me give you one typical example. There was a package by the federal government, and each packet was covered with an insurance. But at a point in time, even farmers that did not utilize the input because due to the late arrival of the inputs were registered as they have lost their farm due to one reason or the other, natural disaster. Insurance were collected, but it was not given to these farmers. But then the bank lose the money as insurance, yet the farmers that are supposed to benefit from the insurance have not benefited. So this area have really made a lot of farmers to run away from this issue of insurance. Then the other factor that is making our Bauchi State farmers run away is that we are still yet to convince them about this interest rate on lending. But sometimes that's why the on lending was very popular. Government may even collect the loan. They say, okay, we are giving you loan, we have collected 10,000, we are paying 12,000, but when you come back to pay you are 10,000. No matter how much you utilize it, maybe you get a million, we are not asking for the 12,000 from you, we are paying 10,000, government will pay the 2,000. And that's the only way we need in this environment to ensure that farmers are benefiting from bank loans. So also the insurance. We force people to go and register. Government will pay for the insurance. Few people, because they refuse to pay for insurance, they said the insurance companies are not, even if you lose, they will begin to show you that you did not follow this law, you have not done this, you have not done that. At the end of the day, your money will not be taken back to you. So that's why they are saying that they don't want to insure their farm business. But then sometimes government will collect it, insure it for them, so that in the event of any problem, then they will receive the insurance and cover part of the losses.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So heading to the last segment of the program, that is potential outlooks and the future of farming in Bauchi State.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you could accelerate one thing about how support reaches farmers, whether it is registration, distribution, communication, or anything else, what would you prioritize first?
My number one priority now is to ensure that at the world level, we have sufficient stores. For example, government is subsidizing fertilizer to small-scale farmers. But how does it reach the small-scale farmer? I was given a typical example yesterday. If a man from Bogoro is to come to Bauchi, buy fertilizer at subsidized rate in Bauchi, before he reached Bogoro, the subsidy must have gone in the payment for transportation. But if you take fertilizer to Bogoro, maybe he has a motorcycle. From one village in Bogoro, say Bar, he will take his motorcycle, go to the store in Bogoro, buy his fertilizer, put it behind his motorcycle, take it to the farm. So the subsidy will be really felt. So the number one priority we are going to do is to build infrastructure, roads, stores, and then deliver to the collection point where they will collect it and utilize it. So this one are our priorities. And then the other priority is make sure that at this center that you are going to build store, make sure that there is a training center there, so that those that are collecting input, whether it is seed, fertilizer, agrochemical, they are trained there on how to effectively use the input that they are collecting at the receiving point. So these are the priorities I think that need to be: training, logistics support, and infrastructure.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
You also mentioned or highlighted a couple of problems in the financing and insurance sectors. What are the possible solutions that you are looking at to kind of cater for these problems?
Proper documentation. We have to bring in not only government officials. I trust a lot of NGOs that we work with. If they will bring the NGOs to work with you to ensure that farmers that are listed, farmers that are insured, or any farmer that comes into a business or into a system is well documented, is well protected, and you can achieve that through the use of NGOs and some very good government officials. It is not supposed to be left to community leaders alone, it is not supposed to be left to government alone. Some NGOs will have to participate that are very credible to ensure that whatever is arranged for the farmer reaches the farmer. So these are the areas we need to work with the NGOs to ensure that listed farmers and registered farmers are the targeted farmers that we are going to utilize, and we make sure that whatever is meant for them is delivered to them.
Yeah. That's nice. So I think second to the last question, what is the, looking 2-3 years ahead, what is the realistic path for farmers that you see in Bauchi State? Not just large-scale farmers, but small-scale farmers as well, to ensure that that credit line is there for them.
Okay, what we want to do is we make sure that we sensitize through advocacy. We need a very robust advocacy to the farmers, enlightenment, day in, day out, whatever, let us be very transparent. And then after that, we do some piloting. We don't take them as a whole. Pick some, go and serve them in any other way that you want them to imbibe. Try them, test with them, experiment with them. When the other farmers see to it, like I always give example with Sasaka Global 2000. When they came with the technology we were teaching farmers, most of the farmers were not believing us. But when we started with few farmers, do the demonstration, to carry them to go and see what is happening, they started believing they are fellow farmers. But if you take it as a government alone, they may not believe it. They will say it's an experiment, it cannot work in a natural way or in a normal way. But when you do piloting and that pilot succeeds, then definitely you are going to achieve. So in few years that we are envisaging, we must promote the issue of targeting some few groups to empower them, and then from there we can outscale. Number two, we have Padama potentials in the state, and we cannot eat potentials. We must, as a deliberate policy, promote irrigated agriculture. And irrigated agriculture cannot be promoted without irrigation facilities, that is infrastructure. So as a government, and whoever wants to come and help small-scale farmers and whichever group of farmers, definitely we have to invest much in infrastructure, especially in the irrigated agriculture. We are lacking, and we know that irrigation agriculture is very lucrative. We know that 2/3 of the farms in the world is dry, rain-fed agriculture. But what is coming from it is 1/3 of the food that is coming into the market. But 1/3 of the land that is cultivated in the world is through irrigation. But 2/3 of that, what is coming into the market, is through irrigation, because there is efficiency in irrigation. Yeah. So we must promote irrigated agriculture, and as I say, it's capital intensive. That is where we are going to utilize the credit lines that will see vividly. There are margins when you receive a credit and then you utilize it, and then you get higher yield. You see the margin. You will find it easy to go and pay. So when we are able to pay back the loans we get, more farmers will benefit from the loans. The bank will be very readily available to make out loans to farmers. So this is what we'll be envisaging in the near future.
All right, thank you very much for that input. Finally, let's come back to you and your ministry. What is one question that you wish more people ask you about agriculture in the States?
The question I want them to be asking is, how early are we supposed to prepare? How are we going to confront this climate change in agriculture? How are we going to confront it? I always want farmers to ask me this question, so that we educate them well, because the way climate change is affecting agriculture is very devastating. If we don't understand it and then learn how to curb the menace, definitely whatever effort we put in agriculture, the effect of climate change is going to put us back or carry us back. So I want people to be asking, we are faced with climate change and negative effect. How are we going to find the resilience into this? How are we going to approach it, and how do we escape the menace of the climate change? And it is through these things that we are doing, through education. NIMET are helping us roll out the weather forecast. Scientists are telling us the varieties we require to ensure that what we are going to plant will mature. Scientists are telling us the kind of crop due to duration, or their resistance or adaptability to the environment we are talking about. So definitely the question I want farmers to be asking, we are faced with climate change effect, negative effect. How are we going to squarely face the situation and then go out of it successfully?
All right. Thank you very, very much for joining us on this magnanimous session of the next question, the podcast where we delve into serious questions that are affecting the state. Thank you very much, sir, for taking the time out to be here with us. And our dear listeners, we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. And I want to add that farmers, after asking about the climate change, make sure you always ask yourself, is it only government that will help me grow? Why can't I help myself grow? So always ask yourself, ask people, how do I build myself? I need government support, but how do I put my effort to see that what I'm doing is very lucrative? Thank you.